Vikings needed this win, and they needed it bad. Sure, you can look at a team's record through their first 8 games and seeing 5-3, the natural reaction would be, okay, this team's in a pretty good spot. But all things considered, the red hot start that the Vikings got off to for a 5-0 record, only to then, hypothetically speaking, proceed to lose 3 straight, the 3rd straight loss being at home in front of your own crowd. In that case, the sky is officially falling. But thankfully, we don't even have to entertain that road because the Vikings pulled off the win, beating the Indianapolis Colts by a final score 21-13, as this video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. The old saying, tale of two halves. The first half held scoreless. Sam Darnold threw a pick in the end zone, just terrible decision-making. Garrett Bradbury gave up a sack fumble that ended up getting returned for a touchdown. Will Reichard, Mr. Perfect, all year long so far. Back-to-back missed field goals. Apparently, he's dealing with some injury. I saw at some point during the game, trainers were wrapping up his right thigh, his kicking leg. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. And Sam Darnold was atrocious. That first half, are you kidding me? And I was saying this during the live stream that I noticed just a shocking difference between Sam Darnold during that 5-0 start and Sam Darnold the last 3 games, but especially this game. That 5-0 start, I was praising Sam on his ability to be the anti-Kirk Cousins, to be able to sense pressure and move around in the pocket and, if you have to, bounce outside the pocket and make plays happen. This game, man, he was just a deer in the headlights. The Sam Darnold, I'm seeing ghosts, was certainly there in the first half where he was going through his progressions, sure, but the ability to move around, the man just basically stood there. I don't know if he lost confidence or whatever, but the Sam Darnold we saw in the first half tonight and much of the previous 2 games was not what I saw, what any of us saw the first 5 games. But then we get to the second half where the Vikings scored 21 points, back-to-back touchdown drives to start the second half. And then Sam Darnold, after Joe Flacco threw a pick, the very next play, Sam Darnold followed that up with an interception of his own. 2 interceptions on the day, 3 touchdowns thrown. But that dagger drive where the Vikings were up 14-10 and you needed to score a touchdown, you score a field goal, okay, the Colts are still in it. The dagger drive up 14-10, the Vikings marched down the field for 60 yards to end it with a Josh Oliver touchdown thrown by Sam Darnold. That I've been getting on this guy for a minute now, for I would say a year and a half at least, but you got to give credit where credit is due. KOC, and for much of this game, it's been shaky play calling, but that dagger drive where the stakes were super high, could not be higher. All the pressure is on you to make this happen, to put this game out of reach. Excellent play calling. That drive, that was fantastic. Not only was that excellent play calling, that was great execution by the players, including Sam Darnold. That's how you step up in the face of pressure right there. And the Vikings are 6-2. And we're going to give shout outs to the defensive side of the ball because the defense, the Brian Flores defense, is back. Even if it's just for tonight only. If it's temporary, so be it. But at this very moment, the Brian Flores defense is so back. We're going to get to that and what I would hope to see from this offense moving forward. But first, sign up for BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. Just use the promo code, and that is up to $2,000, by the way. Just use the promo code YouTube150. This defense is back. And it starts with the run defense. Hey, man, the last two games against the Rams, where Kyron Williams got off for 97 yards, the game before that versus the Lions at home, Jahmyr Gibbs went all the way off for a $116 and 2 scores. The run defense had to show something. And who better to bounce back against than this elite offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts with an elite running back in Jonathan Taylor? Well, guess what? Jonathan Taylor, 13 carries, 48 yards, 0 touchdowns, under 4 yards per carry. As a team, the Colts were held to 68 yards on 19 carries, 3.6 yards per attempt. It was imperative that we saw some form of life from this defense to say, okay, this cannot be fraudulent. What we saw the first 5 games, I know it's still there. Somewhere, somehow, Brian Flores, he has to figure it out. And we saw it. And it was so important to see because the fact of the matter is, however far this Vikings team goes in 2024, it starts and ends with this defense. Byron Murphy Jr. got an interception. I love the usage of Dallas Turner, who had a really good game. I was never down for the joining the discourse of, oh my God, is Dallas Turner a bust? He's not playing very much, limited snaps, but I always had the stance of, who is he supposed to play over? Because we're so deep at edge rusher. What is Brian Flores supposed to do? Well, they got him involved tonight, damn it. And I love the fact that Brian Flores at times, oftentimes, did a combo of literally Jonathan Grenard and Dallas Turner as edge rushers with AVG, Andrew Van Ginkel, serving as an inside linebacker. I love that. That was just genius thinking on Flores' part. And the defense gave up 6 points. The only touchdown that the Colts scored was off of the Bradbury getting put on his ass for giving up the sack fumble return for a touchdown. But the defense legit only gave up 6 true points in this game. And let's not downplay this and say, well, it's the Colts. Joe Flacco gives the Colts the best chance to win right now. And the defense, they did their job. For right now, the defense is so back. Offensively, what I would like to see, 2 things. First off, I believe, based off of what we've seen from Sam Darnold, a true Jekyll and Hyde performance, as great as he was in tonight's performance against the Colts, he was equally as bad, especially in the first half, but he was great when it mattered most, especially the dagger drive to put them up 21-10. But I think because Sam is starting to regress to the means a bit, I don't know what it is, whether it's a lack of confidence or whatever. The 5-0 Sam, I just haven't seen it lately. I think you need to transition into a run-first team. Run that football. My goodness, go back to the Zimmer days. Run, pass, defense. Aaron Jones and Cam Akers. Just hand the ball off to those guys and then throw passes only when it's absolutely necessary. That way, you limit the chances of the mistakes that you're going to have to take on from Sam versus, okay, if you do it through sheer volume of, all right, in this case, he threw 34 passes tonight. I would rather see that go down to 25, quite honestly. Run the football, reduce the opportunities of risk from Sam Darnold until he can earn your trust again. And the second thing I want to see from this offense is no more inside running back screens. They don't work. Eliminate them entirely from your playbook. If you're going to do screens, do them wide outside. But the inside stuff where you're dropping back and letting the pressure get to you and you dump it off to that running back inside and all the pressure is at the quarterback so no one's there, it just has not been working at all. That said, you're 6-2. you're in a much better spot compared to if you were 5-3, especially with the Packers losing. Again, shout out to the folks at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. This was a roller coaster of emotions if you are a Vikings fan, but we're in a great spot. Tuesday is the trade deadline. I would expect for them to make a trade. We'll see you next time.